Hello, Victors. Happy Virgo season. It is upon us. In addition to it being Virgo season, Mercury is in Virgo, and just yesterday, I believe, slipped into retrograde. And so retrogrades are always a good time to review, to revise, to sort of look back over all of the things that we have been working towards and see how they're functioning. So the first card that I pulled is what to review, what needs further attention in our lives. And we pulled the King of Wands, which is the culmination of the fire suit, right? So fire is passion, energy, and sometimes intuition, definitely creative energy, like the act of bringing something into being. Think about forging. Willpower. So if you are a small business owner, if you are an independent artist, if you have some kind of venture that you have been pushing forward that is associated with a skill that you have mastered, it needs you to hold it close right now. It requires your detailed attention and your focus in this moment. It requires your leadership, okay? Next, I asked what can be rewarded? What to reward? What energy should we be moving towards at this moment for a positive outcome? I pulled the Seven of Cups, which I think is such a wildly seductive card for this question. But 7 is the number of completion. It can represent the ending of a cycle. Thinking about water as the energy associated with cups. Emotional literacy is associated with water, creative energy, sometimes love can be associated with the cup suit. The 7 here has a lot of different options. We see a heart, a flower, mountains, a snake. Some of these things look exciting. Some of these things, I think that's a skull, right? So not all of these options are great, but summertime, nature tells us how things work. We are blooming, everything is flourishing, and now is the harvest time. It's time for discernment. It's time for planning. The 7 of Cups is an invitation to sculpt the opportunities of your life into a plan, and that energy will be rewarded. It's not necessarily the time to act on this plan, but it is a really good time to kind of sketch out emotionally how you want things to feel. When I manifest, I don't talk about exactly what I want. I talk about how I want it to feel, right? I talk about what I need emotionally, and what that landscape is. And the 7 of Cups is sort of asking you to do that ideating, especially with Neptune and Pisces. We keep forgetting Neptune, the dreamiest planet that we have, is retrograde in the most intuitive, creative, watery sign in space, okay? So with the reward and positive outcome being our discernment and planning, what needs editing and perhaps removal as we do that planning? So I asked what to revise. The 5 of Swords is a card that can really be associated with conflict and gossip, and I really want to spend some time with this. So 5 is a number of perspective, right? If we think about mind, body, soul in the Trinity, 1, 2, and 3, and then we think about putting those things into embodiment, into action in 4th dimension, 4D, and then we think about the perspective on that action as 5, right? We think about the element of poetry, the ability to commentate on the action in the world, okay? So thinking about 5 in relationship to swords, which is the element of air, ideas, that's where we sort of get this added perspective on an idea, which usually is gossip, right? Commentary on the commentary. There's a great quote that's associated with this. What shall it profit a man if he gains the world and loses his soul, right? It's from Matthew in the Bible. It's in one of my other decks. But it really is about those hollow victories, those lasting battles that make you feel like by the time you won, you've lost everything that there was worth fighting for. It can alter your interpersonal relationships, right? If you kind of let these battles string on too long. So sometimes the 5 of Swords can be about vindication, can be about cutting your losses and knowing that there will be a reward in the end. For me personally, I like to think about it as not competing with others. We see there's a crow here. Looking at where you see yourself in this card as the crows that are kind of fleeing over the battlefield, the crows that have perished, the crow still holding swords. Knowing, echolocating kind of where you are in this landscape is very helpful because you may not be where you think you are. It's a great time to mind your ethics, right? Do not compete with others in this time. Compete only with yourself because competition with others tends to come up shallow, okay? Whew, baby. So, competing with yourself energy really is this King of Wands. Whatever you need, mind your garden, mind your business, wear that crown, be devoted in your infinity, in the sunlight, in your heart, okay? Wield that wand and get what is owed you, okay? All right. I will see y'all for the Pisces full moon next week. Low-key, I want to say if we make it. This Pisces-Virgo axis is always a wild time, but I believe in you. Stay in touch with your emotions, with your discernment. Stay out of other people's business. All right. Love and light to you all. Have a beautiful week. I will see you soon. As always, hit me up if you want a private reading.